Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter is a great piece of writing that looks at sin, guilt, and forgiveness in a puritanical society. The book takes place in Boston, Massachusetts, in the 1600s. It is about a young woman named Hester Prynne, who is punished for adultery by having to wear a red A on her chest. In the beginning of the book, Hester is being let out of jail while holding her baby daughter Pearl and standing on a scaffold in front of a crowd of people. She has to wear the Scarlet Letter A on her chest for the rest of her life as a sentence for her crime. Roger Chillingworth, Hester's husband, comes to Boston soon after she is shamed in public and pretends to be a doctor. At first, he doesn't know that Hester has been unfaithful and thinks that she has been wrongly charged. But when he finds out the truth, he wants payback on the man who fathered Hester's child more than anything else. Arthur Dimmesdale, a young priest who is liked by everyone in town, is found to be the father of Hester's child. Dimmesdale's sin makes him feel terrible, and as a result, his body and mind are getting worse. He is finally forced to say what he did wrong in front of everyone on the same scaffold where Hester was shamed. Throughout the book, Hawthorne looks at how damaging guilt can be and how it affects people and society as a whole. Dimmesdale's guilt makes him sicker and weaker, both physically and mentally. He finally gives in to his guilt and admits his sin in public. Chillingworth's need for revenge takes over his life, and he becomes a sign of how destructive revenge can be. Hawthorne also uses the book to criticize the critical and rigid society of Boston in the 1700s. The puritanical society is shown in the book to be harsh and unforgiving, with not much room for forgiveness or healing. Even though society shames and shuns Hester, she stays strong and doesn't let the Scarlet Letter define her. She learns to sew well and raises her daughter Pearl with love and kindness, showing how strong and resilient she is. The Scarlet Letter is not only about sin and guilt, but it also says something about gender roles and how women are treated in society. Hester is punished for cheating on her husband, but Dimmesdale, who did the same thing, is at first let off because of his power and influence. Hawthorne criticizes the different rules that men and women had to follow in a puritanical society and the strict roles that men and women had to play. Pearl, who is Hester's daughter, is also a very important character in the book. People say that she is a strange and mischievous child with a strong will and a fiery spirit. Pearl is often seen as a sign of Hester's wrongdoing, and she constantly reminds her mother of her shame. Pearl, on the other hand, is a symbol of hope and redemption because she brings happiness and love into Hester's life. She is also a sign of the chance of redemption and a fresh start. The Scarlet Letter is a strong and thought-provoking book that fans still talk about today. The book by Hawthorne is a timeless classic that deals with universal themes like sin, guilt, and forgiveness. Hawthorne's vivid descriptions and complex characters make the story a classic. The book also says a lot about gender roles and how women are treated in society, which makes it an important and current piece of writing for modern readers. Hawthorne's writing style is complex and full, and he uses imagery and symbols to great effect throughout the book. The Scarlet Letter A is a powerful symbol of Hester's shame and guilt. It is also a sign of her rebellion and defiance against the strict society she lives in. Another important symbol in the book is the scaffold, where Hester and Dimmesdale stand to be judged by the people. It stands for the shame and guilt of those who stand on it, as well as the power of public opinion and the hardness of a puritanical society. Hawthorne's use of symbolism and imagery throughout the novel gives the themes he tackles more depth and complexity, and it gives readers more ways to connect with the book. The Scarlet Letter is another book that asks important moral and ethical questions. It asks people to think about what sin is, how guilt and healing work, and how powerful forgiveness is. The book shows that even though society may judge and punish people who break its rules, it is up to each person to face their own guilt and try to make things right. The book explores these themes with a lot of nuance and sensitivity, and it is this depth of understanding that has made The Scarlet Letter such a classic of American literature that has stood the test of time. In conclusion, Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter is an American literary gem that looks at sin, guilt, and forgiveness in a puritanical society. Hawthorne's detailed descriptions, complex characters, and use of symbolism and imagery make the book a powerful and thought-provoking piece of writing that still speaks to readers today. The Scarlet Letter asks important questions about morality, ethics, and the power of public opinion. These questions are still important for modern viewers to think about.